think where they got the word pratful came from here?
Zadok Pratt was a wealthy entrepreneur who loved to promote himself. In 1843, an unemployed stonemason came to him and asked him for a job. Pratt pointed to this mountain, said, "Cut away." And cut away he did for 28 years until Pratt died.
Got to be careful who you ask for a job.
Not even really good carvings either.
The painted inscriptions on this cliff face tell the life story of Zadok Pratt. And this hole in the wall was actually going to be his tomb when he died, until they found out that it kind of leaked a little when it rained, as you can see. So they abandoned that. Hey, you're not Zadok Pratt.
I thought this was the restroom. Now that's what we need.
Well, which way is it, Mark? East or west?
This one-time abandoned bluestone rock quarry was transformed by hand by one man, Harvey Fife.
Harvey spent 37 years designing this 6-acre creation as a setting to display his sculptures before realizing that this was his greatest sculpture of all.
It'd be a great place to play hide and seek.
Yeah. Oh, it gets a little tight here. Oh yeah, lemon squeeze.
Oh wow, a giant! In 1860, George Hull set out to prove to the world that giants actually roam the earth. As a matter of fact, he even dug one up on a farm in upstate New York.
Now, George was no fool. He knew people would pay to see his Cardiff giant, so he charged them 50 cents and made $30,000 in the deal by showing them this 10-foot petrified man.
This is one of the greatest hoaxes ever perpetrated on the American public. Actually, George had this thing carved himself and then had it buried on the farm.
Now, it toured around for years and thousands of people paid to see it. Now you just have to come here to see it at its final resting place.
Well, where's here?
That's for them to figure out.
Mighty big lake. Scotland can keep their Loch Ness Monster. We have our very own right here in the United States, and a lot of people have seen it.
This lake is 120 miles long, so while it might not be a great lake, it's still a pretty good one. And the first person to spot Champ the sea monster on this lake was Samuel de Champlain in 1609.
Now, many people have seen this creature over the years, but there was a mass sighting aboard the ship the Spirit of Ethan Allen III in 1984, when a group of 80 people at a wedding party witnessed the elusive creature surface to the top of the water for 3 minutes.
One-lane bridge, that must be it coming up. Ho!
Oh,
Hey!
Hey! Somebody grabbed me. Oh!
There's a scratch on my arm.
Ooh! We're standing on America's most haunted covered bridge, and it's been haunted for over 150 years by a girl named Emily.
As the story goes, Emily was jilted at the altar on her wedding day and came here in her full wedding gown and hung herself from these very rafters.
Some people are even afraid to drive over this bridge at night for fear that Emily will come and grab them out of their car.
Mysterious scratch marks have appeared on the sides of cars that have passed through.
Ah! You know, here at the granite capital of the world, people take their afterlife very seriously. This cemetery was started in 1895 and sprawled out over 85 acres and is the final resting place of some of America's greatest stonemasons.
Their awesome work can still be seen today in the monuments that they've made for themselves, making this more than a graveyard, more like an outdoor sculpture park. Come on, let's take a look. Foreign coins. I think I have a few to leave. You expect me to go in there?
Yeah. You want to see something really weird?
Weirdly ancient. I don't know about this, Mark.
Did we step into another time zone?
I don't know. I'm feeling prehistoric.
I've heard of being stoned before, but man. Most Americans think of their history as maybe 400 years old tops. But did you realize that there may have been ancient civilizations living right here at America's Stonehenge thousands of years ago?
Actually, nobody's sure who built this monolithic rock structure. Some have speculated that it was Vikings, others say it was Irish monks fleeing Vikings. Still other people say that it was Native Americans who inhabited this area over 4,000 years ago. The things we have to sacrifice in the name of entertainment.
Why am I always the one that gets sacrificed? Oh!
Oh, water! Water! How did we get here?
Oh, get up. You aren't dying. This isn't the Sahara. It's the desert of Maine.
Oh.
Think there aren't any American deserts located east of the Mississippi River? Well, think again.
This desert was formed during the last ice age, and this once barren land is now a tourist destination.
Come on, let's go hit the dunes. I think it's about to pour. Where's our umbrellas? So how deep do you think this sand goes down?
Some say it's a mile deep. We don't know for sure. I know it's pretty deep.
So what does a desert look like when it's covered in some Maine snow?
Looks just like anything else covered in Maine snow.
So Mark, where do you want to go today? Got the map?
No, but I have a globe. Matter of fact, I have the world's largest rotating globe here in the DeLorme headquarters.
That's right. This globe is over 42 feet high and rotates on its axis once every 2 minutes.
Hey, get me. I'm globe-trotting. Come on, let's take a trip around the world.
In 2 minutes.
I think I can see my house from up here.
You know, we've heard of people that live in glass houses. Did you ever hear of somebody that lived in a house made of paper? This has been a weird place since the early 1920s, when Ellis Stenman decided to create his own unique brand of recycling.
This house and everything in it are made entirely of rolled up newspapers. Paper walls and ceiling.
A paper piano?
A newspaper desk completely covered in articles about Charles Lindbergh's transatlantic flight.
Paper chairs and bookcases. Even a paper fireplace.
Be careful of sparks. A paper lamp.
And a paper dining room set.
A paper clock.
Even the curtains are made of newspaper. Have we reached the top of the mountain? In 1956, Connecticut lawyer John Baptist Greco, after returning from a visit to the Holy Land, said God had given him a task to perform, and that was to recreate his pilgrimage.
In miniature. You wouldn't know it to look at these ruins today, but back in the 60s and 70s, this was actually a viable tourist attraction that attracted nearly 50,000 visitors every year. Although Holy Land closed 20 years ago and has been abandoned ever since, this giant 40-foot cross still lights up at night, beckoning the faithful from I-84 below.